What's up, everybody, and welcome to ReelTime for the real everyday movie fan. I'm Ryan Murphy.
I'm Josh Williams.
And today we're giving you our ReelTime recap for the first 4 weeks of the DC, of the Arrowverse.
We were planning on getting this up we actually didn't have the idea until like week 2. Like right. I came up to him, I was like, hey, we should do the recaps for the DC shows, not doing like per show, but just have a weekly recap of them all. And you kind of fell by the wayside, but here we are now. We're kind of gonna. I'm just gonna be on his pace. We're just gonna kind of go with what he got going on. So what's up?
Well, I guess we'll start out with Supergirl.
Yeah, so basically, I guess we'll put that in there. We're just gonna kind of overview the last 4 weeks, and then kind of talk about some things we liked, didn't like, and go for it from there. But yeah, Supergirl, I really liked how it started.
Really?
I did. For some reason, I don't know. I just liked how we're still dealing with the effects of her missing Mon-El, and like how she had to send him away pretty much almost like her parents had to do to her. Mm-hmm. I liked that the writing, as far as like she's got put in basically the shoes of her parents. Mm-hmm. She had to take away Mon-El to save him at the expense of her own feelings. I really love that, and I love the new tone for some reason. Like, I don't mind a happy-go-lucky Supergirl, but I like when they have a good blend of kind of dramatic and kind of not necessarily a darker tone, but you know what I mean, kind of like a more serious tone, but then I still have some fun with it at the same time. What about you?
I think it's all right.
It's all right.
It's all right. Yeah. No, I like the idea of Kara acting all moody and stuff because she's lost her man. But yeah, I mean it's been all right, and we have they're building up a new antagonist, which I'm really intrigued by, just because
I really
don't know where they're
gonna
go. And she's a good and benevolent woman, right? And then something's gonna happen where she's, I don't know.
And I guess we're gonna kind of jump around here, but I didn't understand with the most recent episode, like that ship down there with all those people, obviously in those pods. After that happened, I'm like, how many more ships with pods are we gonna have?
Crypto the Super Dog.
I was like, how many more are we gonna have in National City?
Season 6. Wait for it.
But I didn't mind that. But what I meant was also like, I like the fact that we're still seeing an arc of her kind of slowly letting go of Mon-El. Like, she's been going on this journey, because like that last scene where she goes into the bar with them finally, because they were wanting Card, finally get out of her shell and like be part of the wedding or this and that. Like, I really love that you're still seeing kind of she's evolving still from that pain. You know what I'm saying? So I mean,
there's that. I really like the. Well, I mean, here's the thing with these shows. They can be dumb sometimes. We'll just get that out of the way right now. So if you start with, they can be dumb. Sometimes people just say things and do things, and things are they handle. These are not. We're not watching Shakespeare. I'm sorry, but we're not. And
but we're also watching a show that has a budget constraint and time constraints as well.
But one thing I kind of liked was the last episode. Was it this last episode that was about religion? And kind of
that was a good one.
Yeah, it kind of talked about how people would react to things. But I feel like it was sort of based on this actual arc that was in DC Comics many years ago, about 10 years ago or so, which is about the Cult of Connor. Which, if you're a DC Comics fan, which was when we had to do with Superboy and Wonder Girl. Yes, these are all characters. Superboy died, and Wonder Girl was Superboy's girlfriend. People who are not comic book fans are like, what? And then she started like a Kryptonian cult, called the Cult of Connor. So it sort of reminded me of that, but it has some nice things to say about how people react, how people how faith is a part of people, and how they will react to certain things, and how their faith is a part of that. And I thought,
especially something like her with being as powerful.
Exactly,
as she is.
And I think that's something that DC Comics has always not handled enough. Is that there are always going to be people who view Kryptonians or Superman, or in this case Supergirl, as a god. And I think even the two Snyder films have actually handled that even a little bit. And I just really like some of those things. There's other things I had some comments on. Obviously, I have some feelings on faith. So, but I like that aspect of it. I like. I'm not sure where it's going, really. I mean, some of the relationships, some of the things that happen. Here's what I'm talking about. Like, it's not Shakespeare. Like, okay, now, what's her name? Luther.
Lana.
No.
We're sorry.
Miss Luther.
Yeah, Miss Luther.
Miss Luther is going to she's going to just now be the head of a newspaper because heck, she feels like running a newspaper now. And so this one woman who's got apparently doesn't have too much she's now the head of the company or something.
Honestly, I actually thought it'd been better to have the guy for dramatic purposes, I guess, and storyline purposes. I thought they could have explored a lot more cool things with that evil dude, the guy who's in that, that corporate head who was initially going to buy Catco.
Morgan Edge. Yeah.
I thought he would have, like him, person would have been kind of cooler.
Well, they're going to go somewhere with that.
But
yeah.
I love that actor though. Anyway, I mean, he was in Heroes, and I just love
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. too. He's a great actor. I love him. So overall, like, besides for me, I don't like. I'm just curious where they're going as far as who's actually now going to be the big bad.
It's gonna be Rain. It's gonna be this Odette, who Odette Annabelle is playing on the show. I mean, she's obviously not a bad person, so it's gonna be something where like it's gonna be like Star Sapphire, where she's being controlled. And then in the season finale, she'll be like, saved somehow, and she's got this like BDSM mask on. They've shown like, have you seen the pictures where they've shown her? And
but besides that, I really like. Just kind of the continuation of the show. I like the tone. I like the writing for the most part. Mm-hmm. The characters, like the character interaction between each other, I really like so far. To me, it's the second best of the actual CW shows in general. Right. Like as far as if I wanted to rank each show and like where they're at so far and like which one's the best, to me, Supergirl would be the second best. So I'm gonna we didn't give our ratings at the very beginning, but as far as right now, I'm not gonna do episode by episode. As far as right now, for week 4 and before. The show so far is going to give a 8 out of 10 for me. What about you?
I don't know. I'd probably give maybe like a 6.7.
6.7? Okay, that's not bad. So let's move on forward now. Let's go to The Flash.
All right.
To me, I did not like the first episode at all. I didn't like a lot of their answers for things like okay, getting Barry out of the Speed Force, cool. Dude's phone's always on.
So I'm going to... Okay.
Yeah, there we go. But anyways, The Flash. I did not like how that whole first episode went about. I mean, it made sense on how they got... I guess you could say it makes sense on how they got him out of the Speed Force. Mm-hmm. But just the whole idea of how he got out of his trance. Mm-hmm. Iris is going to die, and then I'm out. I mean, I hope they acknowledge it in the future and they give a reason why. If they don't give a reason why, and that's just it, it's just that love...
Oh, of course, they're not going to give a reason.
If they don't give a reason why that happens,
don't even.
I'm gonna be pissed because I'm all believer in love and I'm married and I love my wife, but just the storyline perspective, from a storyline perspective, just it's because of love that he got out of this trance. No, I'm sorry, that doesn't work for me.
Better than the how they finally get him out of the Speed Force. Just send a ball in that has his DNA.
I gave it enough of a pass now. The season progressed because I guess what's his name? Oh God, I'm losing it already. No, not Cisco has been working on it. Not Cisco, but the other person who's been helping him has been kind of helping him develop this stuff.
Harry.
There we go. Thank you. Because they called him something else. I blanked on it. Sorry, but Harry. Yeah, Harry's been helping him pass. So I kind of give it more of a pass. So I was like, as the show progressed, they kind of explained. He's been working on this for a long time. Mm. So I get that made sense to me. I was okay with that. But what about you? Besides, like, I'll get into more in a bit. But.
Yeah, whenever they have to deal with like, how's this gonna happen? They always come up with iffy stuff. So it's not. I mean, whatever. To me, like that's just okay. We got to get this first episode in so we can do it. But the rest of the episodes, I think this season's been on point with some of the comedy and the gags and stuff and the fun that you have with the characters, kind of like if you like Guardians of the Galaxy or Thor Ragnarok and that kind of buddy like comedy and we're having fun as we go thing. Like the Luck Be a Lady episode with that was hysterical. They kept having these jokes and it just between the characters, it's kind of humor. Like I'm a big Joss Whedon fan. That's kind of how I came into loving fiction. Really was by watching the work of Joss Whedon, like Buffy, and that was always that just snappy dialogue that furthered the plot. It wasn't like Michael Bay humor where it's just thrown in and eviscerates the narrative, but humor that builds on everything because you're enjoying the characters more as they're bouncing off each other, and that's been terrific this season. Just that episode, and then this latest episode with Danny Trejo guest starring as Gypsy's dad.
Oh my God.
That stuff was kind of stupid because
a little bit.
Okay, so he's a murderer. So he's going to murder him and they treat it like it's not a big deal. Like, oh yeah, he's going to run around and then at the end like, oh, I approve of you or I respect you. And she's like, daddy. And I'm like, wait a minute. He just tried to murder him and according to him, he murdered your last blessing. We're not going to talk about that. That's stupid. But the fun was there and it had some funny stuff. So
for me, that's why I feel like it's like the third best show because there's stuff like that where for me, it's just not as smart as writing as the prior seasons have been. Mm-hmm. Now, I will admit they are getting, by episode, they're getting progressively better. I really like the Elastic Man. Like, I really like that arc because I remember in the comics, Like that was one of Flash's main buddies. You brought that up. And I remember
from the beginning. That's why I was like, why didn't they bring him in season 1 or 2?
But I liked you got to explore the relationship of why they were. But I like they're evolving to becoming friends. You know what I mean? I liked at first, they were mad at each other. They weren't friends. They were kind of rivals. But then
and that's
evolved
the thing.
from there.
I was really excited to see Elongated Man on the show because that's Flash's buddy more than certainly any other superhero. Certainly more than Green Arrow. So that for me was like finally. Season 4, and when the actor they got, I was like, oh my god, like he's freaking Ralph Dibny. He's the Elongated Man. This guy's perfect.
Pretty funny. He was pretty funny.
And of course they have to because the comic book fans know that they're such good friends. They have to start it off ironically. They have to start it off with them hating each other, and then it's going to build. But I'm excited, and I was really not expecting for him to be actually on the show now. It's a guest appearance. He might be recurring, but he's apparently now a supporting character in season 4.
Yep.
So that's actually, I'm looking forward to that moving forward.
I'm looking forward to see how they're going to add another person to the group and, kind of help him with his powers and stuff. That could actually have some great fun to it,
right?
Especially with him.
There's always a guy that he doesn't like that's there. It was Julian last season, and then Julian's just disappeared. We don't know where Julian went.
I want Julian back. I love Julian. I love the actor, but too. Yeah. But, okay, before we wrap this up on this one, go to the next episode because we're taking some time with these, but that's okay. Yeah. We wanted to get in depth with these a little bit. What do you think of the main villain now? We haven't seen much of him. It's very cryptic of what his his reasoning for wanting these people, and it's already alluded to the fact that he's given them their powers.
Yeah, I think it's. They promised like last season, said we're not gonna have a speedster for season 4 because he's fought 3 speedsters in a row.
At first, I thought it was the samurai.
And it was like, nope. But it was the Thinker. I don't know. We'll see where it goes. It might be really dumb. It looks kind of cheesy, him sitting there in the chair, but we don't. It's not tested yet. He doesn't seem to be planning this out very well because Ralph Dibny's a good guy, but maybe that'll be we'll see what happens with that. So that's. What
I have an interesting prediction about that because I like giving predictions for these recaps. I have a feeling that he's given them their powers, but he also did something to the people to mind control them in some way. But the only thing I'm really wondering is why he hasn't rounded them up himself, like why he's having the Flash round them up. Because it's obvious he's having them rounding them up. Like he's having the Flash round them up and put them in this particular prison in Iron Heights. And I'm just curious. I'm curious about that. But I do have a bold prediction that he must have done something to each of these people because he's been planning this out for a while to where this is going to be like his own big group of super villains. And that this exploration with the Elastic Man and Barry, that would be very interesting when eventually, if this happens, that it'll be enemies.
Yeah, that could be interesting. One last thing.
I don't know. That'd be a bold prediction for me.
And that's the return of Harry as a regular character.
Love that, though.
A little bit disappointing to me because I thought we were doing a different Wells every season. I thought that was a thing, but apparently no. They were like, like the first season was obviously bad Wells. Second season was Harry, who's a great character, had a great journey. I love that whole arc. I think he's actually, and we knew that he was always going to be a recurring character. Like even with HR, we always had Harry coming back every now and then. Like he's part of the heart and soul of the group, so he would always come back. But I thought as far as regulars, we would always HR died, so next is the next.
You bring up another person.
But no, now it's Harry's back, which is nice because he's part of the gang, he's part of the family, and he is a very individual character in its own. So I'm looking forward to seeing where that goes.
So overall, I'll go have my score first for the season so far. Like I said, I just feel like the writing's being a little more lazy written than it was before. And not as compelling for me. Like you brought up, I do love more. It's becoming more and more lighthearted, more and more fun. But I think it's losing its gravity.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's not like whenever they're fighting these bads, where before in the past I felt the gravity. Like Flash might lose. Yeah. I'm not feeling that anymore. Now I want that again. I want to be able to feel that gravity. That he is, even though he is the fastest man alive, he still has a chance to die.
Yeah.
Like that. It's always in the back of your mind. Right now, so far, I'm not feeling that anymore. So I'm gonna but I think still it's pretty good. I'm gonna give it probably 7 out of 10.
I'm gonna say probably 6.7 out of 10, just because.
Oh, really? So you still there?
Yeah, I don't know, because everything you said is pretty true. So we'll see where it goes moving forward. So.
All right, now let's talk about Legends of Tomorrow.
This show sucks.
This show does suck.
Sucks. So
I'll admit, I actually kind of liked the second season. I enjoyed it. Like I had fun with it, and it made somewhat sense, even though they're fighting a speedster. Besides that fact, I found fun from it, and I actually liked some. There's quite a few episodes in the prior season that I liked.
This show sucks.
What bothered me the most about the first episode was the logic behind some of the storytelling. Like, okay, they got disbanded from Legend. They were no longer Legends. Why didn't Sarah just go back to Oliver's group? She could have been a great. She would have been logically. She would have just gone back to them and working and fighting with them in that group in Arrow with with the whole Arrow group. But no, she's working at some fucking store. And and same with the rest of them. Like they're all doing these other things. Why didn't Ray Palmer just go back and get his company again? Like I'm just like, a lot of that stuff didn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't logical. Because I think they thought, we're still going to keep ourselves contained in our own show. But no, you got to still maintain the idea that you're in this broader show, and you all come from other shows. So if you're going to disband each other, it would make logical sense to go back. At least show that they tried. And then they're like, oh, we don't need you or something. You know what I mean? Something like that. But they didn't do that. No. They're just, I don't know. What about that first episode? I did not like it at all.
Okay. No, the whole premise, because here's the thing. This show can be really stupid. But in spite, okay.
I think it tries to bite off more than it can chew.
This is DC's Inhumans, okay? This is
not that bad. I'm sorry, not that bad.
I don't know, man. It's pretty. I don't know if there's anything in Humans that's dumber than anything they've done on this show. This is just dumb in
at least
and
this
dumb
one has
out
fun.
I mean, are you having fun? Because I'm looking at this, I'm thinking, this is so freaking stupid.
I have
like,
some
how
fun
could
with some
any human
spots.
being have an IQ low enough to write
I
this?
actually quite enjoyed the Ray Palmer episode with the little.
Oh, you mean the one where they were like, borrow the wave rider, be right back? Because I was having fun too, and then they did that, and I was just like, what the? Like, I just thought you were having some freaking competence as writers. I'm like, I want to speak directly to them. I'm like, you're professional writers. You're like, I write, I suck. You're a professional. You have stepped over everyone whose dream, every like great writer whose dream has been to write and like has never quite made it. And like you're the ones who made it. You're like the one in the millions. And
okay.
And this.
That's okay. It's okay.
Borrowed the Wave Rider. Be right back.
It's okay.
What the?
Besides
borrowed the Wave Rider.
It's okay. He needs an anger manager.
This show sucks.
But besides that, though, I enjoyed. Besides that, that was very dumb. But besides that, I kind of liked them doing some intertextuality with ET, like kind of the little Dominators kind of ET kind of thing. I liked that a little bit. So I won't say there are still some fun moments for me. For me, it's nowhere near as bad as in Humans. But I still say the writing it's actually more dumb now than it was before.
It is more dumb.
These anachronisms, I'm not like, I don't know. I don't think there was any reason for it.
The whole premise is stupid now. Here's the thing: is like the first season. I actually really liked the first season. It had all that surface level stupid stuff, corny dialogue, and everything that one could easily watch it and pass over it. I looked at it. I was like, okay, once you strip away all that sort of surface stupidity, season 1 had a great story. Like it was like freaking like a Lord of the Rings kind of like it was great. And
Savage.
The first 2 seasons though, I thought like here's what's special about the show. First of all, I do like the characters, and that is why it is better than Inhumans. Is because in Humans you don't even care about the characters.
No.
And I do like these guys. I feel like they've had good chemistry from day one. But ultimately, what's made this show kind of special, what's made the show kind of good, the appeal of it for me is that these guys may be freaking like losers most of the time. They may not have it all together, but they're all we got. They're the guys who are there to save time, and they're the only ones who can do it because they're the only ones with the ship, whatever. This season turns that on its head. They think they're being clever. They're not. Mm-hmm. So now they're a bunch of losers who are like, I want to do it. I want to do it. Like, take away the stakes of these guys being all we have to fix time. That's the stakes we're up against. But and now it's like, I want to think, and they steal the ship. And they're doing everything they're doing to like show up an actual organization that's actually better than them, and it's not even appealing anymore.
But one of the things I don't necessarily like is the idea, like the anachronisms. Okay, maybe, but that doesn't really give you enough. But now they're teasing some big baddie. But I'm like, I don't understand. They're not progressing enough with that big baddie.
Borrowed the wave, right? Never mind. Go ahead.
But yeah, they're not giving us enough of that to really keep me interested. And they just keep doing these little anacronyms, like little
that's
side.
The thing. It's
and I feel like it's not. They're biting off more than they can chew, and I feel like it's not as focused. Whereas in the first season, the reason it was pretty good, besides all the dumb stuff that they do, is they had a focal storyline. They had to stop Vandal Savage.
Right.
Right now, they're trying to stop the anachronism. There's this big bad out there too that the Time Bureau is trying to fight, and they could help, and they're just trying to do all these things. And it's just not working anymore. They're trying to be bigger and better, but it's becoming across as dumb.
It is, yeah.
So I don't know. And for as far as predictions go, I don't even know who this big bad's supposed to be. And even then, I feel like Rory from Doctor Who. Yeah,
Rip Hunter.
Rip Hunter. Thank you. Sorry, I feel like he's become a unreasonable douche. Like unnecessary douche.
They're stealing ships from his organization and trying to.
But he disbanded them in the beginning. I was like, that's kind of dick move to do.
That was, but
and
everything since then.
But the fact he was so cold towards them.
Yeah.
And I just didn't like that.
Yeah.
But besides that, as far as predictions go, I think eventually they'll team up with Time Bureau and everything will be all hunky dory. Especially with Sarah and that chick, I think they're gonna eventually make out. I think
He's just saying it. We're all thinking it.
It's gonna happen. But besides that, this is really starting out to be dumb. This is definitely the lowest show of the CW, and as of right now, it's probably like a 3 out of 10.
I'd say lower. I'd say 2.22.
The only reason it's pretty high because I really did. Besides that dumb, the Wave Rider will be right back.
Yeah.
I thoroughly enjoyed.
Besides that actually was a pretty fun episode.
That was a lot of fun. I really love the nostalgia feel, the intertextuality with the ET moments and such. I really enjoyed that.
And
it was really fun.
I like the new girl. She has.
I don't like her actually. I got excited the idea maybe like Constantine would come or like some characters that we've seen before would come into the show. Mm-hmm. I was like, ooh, maybe we'll have some more new regulars of characters we already know. And they bring this new girl who I don't even know anything about. I have no connection with her. Yeah, eventually I'll probably care about her now. But it just takes away the idea. Like I was really excited to see some characters that we've already seen in the prior shows to come on to this show. And I actually have another prediction real quick. I think that Kid Flash is going to end up on.
I don't know about that.
I think he will.
I just think that
because in the Flash he kind of goes off and does his own thing. He has nothing to do now, and I don't think they're just going to cut him off completely. So send him over to Legends. Mm-hmm. But
I think she has good chemistry. I think that's what it all boils down to with the rest of the crew. So.
I guess so.
All right.
But right now, let's move on to Arrow.
Just checking my time.
I'll let you go first, real quick. Well, what do you think so far? Because I know how I feel.
It's all right. It's
really okay. Go ahead.
You don't like it at all?
No, I love it.
Oh, you love it. Okay.
I think it's the best so far.
I don't know. It's kind of like the way I felt about Supergirl. It's decent. I mean, Arrow to me is the show that's kind of been intellectually challenged in the past. Season 5, I know you were like season 5. I'm like, really? This is hokey. This is like you're no longer a teacher. You're now like a professor of teaching at a college. This goes from hokey to being you teach how to be hokey. Oh, you killed my father, so I have all these elaborate schemes just because I don't know. But
I didn't necessarily like that, but I love the villain. You lost your train of thought.
I lost my train of thought. Much like the writers on Legends of Tomorrow. For me, so the main thing of this season is actually they're trying to do something kind of clever. And that Oliver's no longer the Green Arrow. Like literally, the main character of the show is now taking it. He's still the main character of the show, but the Green Arrow is John. And I think they're gonna honestly keep this up for pretty much the whole season, maybe.
Up until the very end, I feel like he's gonna come back.
Maybe halfway, but that's kind of interesting. I feel like he's trying to be a dad. They have the bad guy seems like it's gonna be. I guess it's gonna be Michael Emerson is the big bad as the as Caden James.
Yep.
So that's I don't know. After 4 big bads, sometimes I'm thinking how much more gravitas can these bad guys and their schemes really have? So we'll see. I like the fact that Oliver and Felicity are finally getting back together. Now here's the thing: I am not one of these Olicity guys from the beginning, right? Remember season 2, everyone's like Olicity, and I'm just like people are like what? There's this other group of screens you guys are just looking at 2 people on screen together and but here's the thing: no matter how much you thought of it in the beginning, it's that's what it is now. That's their characters have evolved over the majority of the show now being that way to the point where it's irreversible. So I like the fact that they're not pussyfooting around it or BSing around it. They love each other. They're together.
I like that.
And life is moving. Life seems to be moving forward, which can only mean it's going to completely be destroyed pretty soon. But life. He's got a son. He's got his girlfriend. He's the mayor. He doesn't have to balance being a vigilante anymore. I feel kind of good for Oliver. Oh no. I like the season so far. I really do.
I think this is the best of the CW shows so far. I feel like Arrow's getting back to par to what it was in the first and second seasons, as far as being a very grounded Arrow, his own little world in Starling City. Mm-hmm. I didn't like how they were expanding it even more. I didn't like season 3. A lot of people are like, oh, I love season 3 and in season 4. I didn't necessarily care for those 2 seasons at all. I thought they were the complete weakest of the series. Mm-hmm. But for me, this is returning to par of a very grounded story. And I think, to me, this is where the writers are smart. Because to me, Oliver, now that he's mayor, it makes logical sense that he has to step down for right now, at least for right now. maybe, but also maybe permanently, because not just for being the mayor, but he has a son now.
Mm-hmm.
He needs to be able to spend time with William, and be able to be there for him that he needs. Because I loved that episode with him and his son, where his son was like, I need more time, like basically saying, I need more time with you, I want more time with you, and you're not giving it to me. And I love that he came to that realization. Even though, yes, John has a son of his own, JJ, and he has his wife, but at the same time, he has his wife too. I mean,
he's not the mayor. Yeah.
Yeah, he's not the mayor. So to me, that makes a great logical sense, and I do love that. And yeah, I love that Felicity and Oliver are back together. It made logical sense because that's where it's going towards.
Mm-hmm.
I like it more better now because I feel like the characters are much more mature.
Much more mature. They just act.
They're not in googly love.
It seems like they belong together, which is like season 2. I was never for them initially.
I wasn't
getting
really for it
together
either in the
because it was
second
like just because they're opposites. He's badass and she's
she loves his axe.
nerdy, but she's a completely different character than she was.
I don't know if I
really
necessarily like the side story with her and Mr. Terrific, them starting their own startup.
Yeah, who
it could
cares?
actually lead to somewhere. Because because that girl brought up, hey, maybe you can start developing a better way to do the implant that's keeping her her walking, which I think that could lead to something very lucrative or good for the team as far as in the future. But I want to talk about what do you think as far as John now being Arrow, but at the same time, not just being the Green Arrow, but you notice he's taking some kind of drug.
Yeah, he's obviously he's having a moral failure.
Yeah, I think so too.
There's this is gonna come up where he's gonna be letting people down because he's like, oh, Oliver, I knew you needed me, and he's gonna, I didn't need you to do this, and then it's like, he shouldn't be doing what he's doing, and that's
you
gonna
can see
come
where
up.
it's leading to, but I like that.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see where it goes. I'm enjoying the idea of Oliver kind of taking a step out and but still being the main character and all that sort of stuff. I really like the team chemistry.
I do too.
I really like.
I think it's the
everyone
best
loves
team
Renee.
chemistry. I know, yeah.
Everyone loves Renee. I love the fact that he's.
Come on, Hoss.
I know, but I love the fact that he's intelligent also.
Yeah, that too.
Like, he kind of surprises people sometimes with how, how
like when he wrote
the speech,
and they're like, it's
and
actually good.
He works for the mayor's department. He's the assistant to the deputy mayor, and he has like a real job. And he's like, he can do it because he's a competent, intelligent individual.
Yeah.
So I really like the team chemistry. Not really like the new Black Canary. Whatever. She's fine.
She's all right.
And everyone loves Curtis and Renee. And so
I do want them to revisit.
They should just get their own spinoff.
I do want them to revisit Theo a little bit more. I do
Right.
like that she's in a coma. That sounds bad. That sounds bad because I love her as a superhero, but I do like that it's kind of.
She doesn't have chemistry. I think she wouldn't mix well with this group. That's why they just knocked her out.
I don't know. I really like her as a superhero, though. I thought she was great, at least with her and Oliver. But I like that this can actually lead to something good in the future. Like she comes out of it, and then she could be part of the group again. Mm-hmm. But I like because it's also kind of. I want them to explore more with how Oliver is dealing with it because that's his sister. She's in a coma, and they haven't really delved into that. That was a little bit of a negative for me. They haven't really, because he's got so much going on, but it's still his sister. Mm-hmm. I want them to dive into that a little bit more moving forward. Besides that, I think this is such a perfect. It's a near perfect show so far for me as far as storytelling because it's smart and it's storytelling. One of the last, it's even in the small details. I'll bring this up real quick before I give you my score. I really liked even the small parts where, at the very end where. All of a sudden he's like, all of a sudden he kind of gets back in that mode. He's like, all right, well, we need to figure out what this guy's doing this. And he's like, oh, sorry, old habits. I liked that because it shows that, he stepped down, but it's still in him. It's still there. It's old habits die hard. And I like that because it makes sense. But I think I'm giving this one easily a 9 out of 10. This is a great show so far. Great season. And I can't wait to see what they got moving forward. What about you?
No, I'm not going to go that high. I'm going to go maybe 6.8. Higher than some of the
He's
other
got
ones.
them really low, all of them.
Yeah. No, I watch these shows religiously, but I'm like, you got do something to impress me real soon. I don't know. I'm not being harsh on them. I'll bump it up to a 7 out of 10.
There you go.
So okay.
Would you say this is probably the best one of the show? What would you rank them? Because to me, it's
I
Arrow.
suppose so, objectively, but
it'd be Arrow, Supergirl, Flash, and Legends.
I'm coming up with these scores on the fly. I don't know. I
thought about them.
I like the Flash's humor. I like Arrow just. I don't know, in general, and Supergirl's all right. So those are all pretty much around 7. 6.5 to 7 for all those. Legends, obviously, is at the bottom of the trash heap. So, yeah. All right.
All right, guys. That'll do it for today. Thank you very much for watching. That was a long video, but I hope you stuck in there with us to kind of go over this overall week. from now on, hopefully we'll have them up every Saturday. As far as a weekly recap of each show, we're not going to do episode by episode. We're going to give a weekly recap of all the shows and how they did for each episode. But
Especially when we get to the crossover.
Definitely, crossover is going to be a lot of fun. So also, again, leave your comments in the section below. Let us know what you think of the season so far. Which one's your favorite? Rank them down from best to worst of which show you think is the best or the worst. And leave your comments also of what you think predictions are moving forward. Sorry, my throat's getting a little ticklish. Also, if you like what you watch, then hit that like button and subscribe to our channel so you can see more of our various content in the future. Also, like us on Facebook and Twitter. The descriptions and the links are down in the description below. And thank you very much for joining us. I'm Josh Williams.
I'm Ryan Murphy.
And thank you for keeping it real.
With ReelTime.